Hello everyone, and very warm welcome from all of us in CoMA Glasgow to our world premiere of newly composed video score, Remote Connections. This video score was developed over the last 4 weeks during the project called YouCreate, and that project was conducted online, and it was attended by 14 participants, a great team of people from different backgrounds, different instruments, obviously, and of course different locations. So we had people from various locations in Scotland, stretching all the way up to Shetland, and we have people from other CoMA groups joining from different locations in England, and we even have 2 people from Germany. You will see them all in a minute in our concert broadcast. The project was led by me and facilitated by CoMA Glasgow team. It's been really quite a journey for all of us leading this project, embracing the possibilities and overcoming the challenges of Zoom program, really, that we led this project through. And the participants of the project, the 14 participants, worked in a very, very close collaboration as a whole group, in small teams, in peers, developing every aspect of the piece absolutely from scratch. So at the start of the project, we didn't even know that it will be a video score, for example, or how it will look like, how it will sound, how long it will be. It was absolutely unknown. So we really went from zero to hero here. And the work of participants is really, really strongly entangled, and all the contributions are very entangled. Let's say there would be one person who developed the initial idea for the sound, another person would overtake it, the third person would maybe try to write it into the score, into some kind of invented symbolic notation. It's the notation of symbols, easy to read in the video score, and then there would be somebody else who would edit it into the video score. There would be yet another group of people who would perform and interpret all of those ideas. So the group really worked collaboratively on each part of composition, and we can proudly state that our video score Remote Connection has 15 authors, really, 15 composers, including me, with my small contributions. Before we start, I just wanted to also make a note that we led this project through Zoom, and those who have been trying to do any musical activities through Zoom would realize that there is a very big latency problem in sound, and as well as that, Zoom does filter out 2 or 3 people that can be heard very well at one time, and others are basically automatically muted. So you will hear all of that in our broadcast of this piece. However, I would like to really highlight that this video score is intended to be performed by a big group over the Zoom. So all of those jumping in and out, instrumental sounds and instruments disappearing and appearing, all of this is kind of our intended result of the piece, really. So I hope you will enjoy listening to all of that. And finally, I would like to say that after the concert, which is about 15 minutes long, there will be a few more minutes of us broadcasting interviews with our participants. So please do stay for that, and during the interviews, as well as throughout the concert, actually, you can write your questions and comments in the section below, which we will make sure to answer to all of you. I really hope you enjoy this concert and have a good listening.
Tabla.
Hold pitch.
Vowel change. Louder. Siren down. Vowel change. Quieter.
Lower. Lower.
Hi, I'm Chris, a flute player in CoMA Glasgow and a member of the CoMA Glasgow committee. And I'll be asking a few questions of Suzanne.
So my name is Suzanne, and I first came across CoMA Glasgow because I'm involved in an MEd course at the Conservatoire in Glasgow. And the first open rehearsal of CoMA Glasgow was taking place at the Conservatoire. Worked out pretty well for me because I live up in Shetland, so normally traveling for these things, if you're not quite sure it's going to be for you, it's a bit of an expense. But I happened to be at the Conservatoire that weekend, and I am so glad that I plucked up the courage to go and do something that I didn't do before.
You've told me before that you're relatively new to the whole contemporary experimental composition field, but you've been with us since we started back in November last year.
Yeah.
Has it been an enlightening experience for you?
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, I don't know, without meaning to sound too cheesy, I think it's kind of confirmed what I think I knew about myself as a musician, but kind of didn't have the confidence to admit. I've come through quite a traditional attitude towards music, Western traditional attitude of learning music in terms of this is how it looks, this is how it sounds, and this is how we reproduce it. And I know it's not quite that simplistic, because obviously, you know, once you've got the kind of the tools in the box, you can absolutely use your creativity in performing other people's work. But I guess for me, there was always this slight, but why? Why does it have to be like that? And why do I have to stick to that rule? Because I love writing music, and it was like, why do I have to stick to that rule that was made by somebody else for a different period in time when it's my music and this is my voice and this is what I want to say? So I think that's why I've found it to be a very self-affirming experience to get involved more in a contemporary style of music, and certainly in terms of the, you know, very different approaches to scoring as well. I found that so interesting.
I guess there often comes a sense of freedom. Maybe autonomy is a better word than freedom. With this style of music, you know, notation can be a lot more fluid. Our interpretation of it can be a lot more fluid. It can be more reactionary. It's a lot more explorative of what's possible. And as you say, as a fellow flute player coming with a sort of very traditional classical background, there is that notion of how someone should perform properly, I guess. So I think I've always quite enjoyed the chance to be a bit contrary with that.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
I find it quite a liberating experience, and that's how I myself got into contemporary music as well.
Hi, I'm Ronan. I'm the conductor and bassoon player for CoMA Glasgow, and today I'm talking to MEC about our YouCreate project.
Hi, I'm Emmy, and I'm a pianist, and I've been a part of CoMA for the last 6 months, since January 2020.
So how was it that you became involved in CoMA Glasgow?
I got involved because I found out about this group through my partner and a few friends and a few posters that I saw around the conservatoire, and kind of was drawn to being a part of an organization and a group that encouraged contemporary music for everyone. Whether you were an amateur musician or a studying musician or a professional musician, and that sort of equality for contemporary music really kind of spoke to me, and I decided to get involved.
And how was it that you decided to become involved in the YouCreate project then? What was it about the idea of an online project that appealed to you?
I think in recent times with Corona and everything, there was a sort of gap in my life where I wasn't able to play with other people. So this YouCreate project came at a moment where I was sort of looking for musicians to play with and other people to create with. So it seemed kind of perfect to do this on a social distanced online platform.
So how was your experience of doing the project online through Zoom and microphones rather than face-to-face?
I found it really enjoyable despite it being over a digital platform. breaking out into these little breakout rooms and working with smaller members of the group, but also the entire group, was a lot of fun. And despite sort of microphone glitches or all of that, it kind of contributed to the general experience. Certain ideas for me were weeded out because it may not work over a digital platform, given its latency issues and sort of not everyone sort of being in their own sort of time due to internet speeds and whatnot. Though because of this, I think a lot of interesting interesting ideas and interesting musical ideas came out of it, as everyone was starting to use these weird time delays to their advantage to create.
Yeah, my name is Katharina Plate. I'm from Berlin, and now I live in Potsdam, very close to Berlin. And I play the bass clarinet as a non-professional musician. Okay.
Yes, and I'm with her, her husband, and my name is Leo, and I play the viola in a symphony orchestra in Berlin. Yeah, it's absolutely a very new experience, and there are so many problems on the way to match and to hear and with the sound.
Also, I think it's good in music, for the music also, to see the whole musician in a very special way and to react in this way. I think it's a good new tool for me and also for our ensemble. Thank you for this.
So we come closer together, and I could hear what the others are playing.
What I also liked was a kind of what is it, electronic parts, what this fits together very clear with the ears. Thank you so much for this wonderful project. It's my first thing. It's very, I like this very, very much. And I like to see people I never saw before. It's very amazing to have this experience, and also very close for me is to look in different places where the people live. I like this very much.
So I know you've been doing a lot of teaching from home using video calling. But for a project like this, where we have, I think, 16 musicians taking part, how have you found personally working on this project with so many people all pitching into the same project?
I think this is, I would say, the easiest experience I've had of many cooks making the same, I wouldn't say the same broth, but the same menu. Many cooks contributing to the same menu. Throughout my music degree, we did an awful lot of collaborative work. And sometimes, depending on who you were working with, you know, sometimes that was a fantastic creative experience, and sometimes it was very frustrating because one voice maybe needed to be louder than others. And I would say that absolutely has not been the case with this project. I would say that everybody's voices have been heard and valued and included in some way.
I mean, I was a little daunted personally about how this project might come together with so many people working on it. But I think everyone's really embraced it and been quite open-minded.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would say in terms of the way the online sessions have been managed, I've been so impressed with that.
Has this way of working through video calls just been a means to an end, do you think? Or are there elements that might stick around for you longer after we're allowed to be in the same room again?
I'm teaching, we spoke about this a little bit earlier, I'm teaching a lot online. And obviously, we're all too much aware of the problems of dealing with latency when we're working in a video conference situation, which means that you can't play anything that is meant to be synchronous. Now, for young musicians learning online, I mean, some of the kids I'm teaching are 8. you know, and it is a little bit of a challenge, I'm not going to lie. However, then comes along CoMA with solutions. So working, using latency as part of the music as opposed to a problem to be overcome. It's actually an integral part of what we're doing. And to me, that has just been literally music to my ears.
Suzanne, thanks so much for talking to me today.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been so good to just be able to effervesce about this amazing project. I think you can all be so proud of what you've put together.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.
Ciao bella.